when you hear this riff, yes, it's metal! But when you hear this, that's like a 1-5-4 progression in A major. That's not metal. It's like only Ozzy could sing that and make it sound metal. It's like happy. I am so happy. I am so happy. It's like happy, happy, happy riff. And so I'm thinking, I'm not Ozzy, I'm not the Prince of Darkness. And so how can I make this riff cool? So I was working on this song. Now I had Rudy Sarzo, Ozzy's bass player, playing the track. You can hear Bobby Rock, my former drummer from Nitro. He plays with Lita Ford now, played with Nelson, Ricky Nelson's sons, those two blonde-haired guys. I mean, the guy sold millions and millions of albums, both guys. And so that's on the track. But I remember thinking to myself, how the heck am I gonna play Crazy Train instrumentally? I could play Mary Had a Little Lamb more metal than that. I'm like, I can't walk up on stage in jet black going happy. So I said, this sucks. How do I do this? So I went online to the Library of the 21st Century, YouTube, and I watched other guitar players. Not one of them, out of all the videos I saw, went like this. Everybody just cut to the solo because it's in a minor key, not happy, happy major. 1-5-4. It's like, you can't get happier than that. And so I said, what am I gonna do? I tried flanging it, I tried harmonizing it, I tried chorusing it. Then I started to say, mute it, get rid of it. And then I got mad. I was like, how am I supposed to do a tribute? I've already got the track recorded. I didn't even think about the verse. I thought it would be super easy, but it wasn't. It sounded terrible. It just sounded so wimpy. It's like, you're a girly man. And it's like, it just didn't sound right. And so what I did was I got mad and I sat in my studio and I have my piano right there and I went, I arpeggiated the verse. I'm like, there you go. And so I said, instead of playing the melody, people know the melody, I arpeggiated it on guitar. So when I play the verse, I played keyboard style arpeggios and it came out really cool. Anyway, this is my humble tribute to Randy Rhoads. We have Rudy Sarzo, Ozzy's original bass player, playing on the track, and Bobby Rock, the drummer. All the tracks that you hear, it's mostly Bobby on drums. And if you put my tracks up to a regular CD, they're way softer, and I'll tell you why. If anybody knows about music and waveforms, in today's world, if you see, you want a waveform to look like a Tootsie Roll, literally. And so you want to just dark, like this, because it means that everything soft is loud and everything loud is soft. So they squish it, they compress it and limit it. But if you watch my waveforms, you'll see this. And that's the snare hit. Because the snare, like, whack, and then it moves back down. Well, I made it a lot lower. We didn't compress it like that so that it gives a more realistic sound when you're hearing it, that it's like a real band because it's real players. I call this Tribute to Randy. want to switch guitars and play one of my songs, and then I'm going to play my double guitar. This next song is called Rainforest. I have a 10-year visa to China, a 10-year visa to India, and a 10-year visa to Brazil. And I've been to all three: China 15 times, India 5, Brazil 4. And you know, I never compare countries, but I can tell you this. You know, people say the grass is greener on the other side. It ain't. I was in the middle of Switzerland, and I've been to every region. There's the French, there's the Italian, and the German part of Switzerland. And we were in Lugano, and we went through Italy. It is almost 20 miles of road straight through the Alps. Now, if you have a temperature gauge on your car, which everybody does, and we were traveling in a Mercedes, and it was showing it in centigrade, so Celsius. And you start off, they have to actually have guards in the front, because if you get into an accident in the middle of the Alps, you're 10 miles into it. I mean, you're 20 miles, this is 20-mile long thing. It's the longest road under a mountain, and it's the Alps. It's not goofing around, you know. And so I remember we're going in there, and it started off maybe about, I was gonna say like about 22 degrees, which is right around 70 something. By the time we were in the middle, in Fahrenheit, it was about 125 degrees. So if you get, and there's only 2 lanes. I mean, they got to cut a mile, 20, you know, cut a whole 20 miles through. And so it was intense. And when we went to Switzerland, you know, we were hungry, and in the middle of the night, you know, like 1 or 2 in the morning, you just can't go through McDonald's. And the only thing they had was this like raw ground beef. And I'm like, I ain't gonna eat that. And so you think things are always so much better somewhere else, and they're really not. If I've learned anything from traveling, I'm gonna switch guitars. Again, this guitar is available from Honeycutt Music.
No, that's your guitar.
This is my third guitar. This is called the Speed of Light. Again, it's a Dean guitar, and again, it's from Honeycutt Music. This one's available as well. The biggest difference between the first 2 guitars and this, it's got an EMG active pickup system. And so what Dean did is, these are all American parts. Grover tuning keys, EMG 85, 81 SA. In the center, it's kind of a Zakk Wylde configuration. The guitar plays with Ozzy. But these are really powerful pickups. They run on batteries. Some great with a clean sound and great with overdrive. But I want to do my song called Rainforest. And people ask me, Michael, why is that song called what that song is called? I'm like, it's my song. I can call it what I want. But there's one last reason. I always wanted to be a lead singer. You know why? Because when I played that song roundabout for 8.5 minutes, I go, I'm a great guitarist. What if I could sing for that 8.5 and do the extra 40 or 30 seconds, you know, 20, 30 seconds of a solo? Not only would I be the total narcissist, but I get all the chicks too. And so what I did was I tried to sing. I'd be like, this isn't fair for you to turn to me. And I would be singing lead. And my friends would go, I go, hey man, what'd you think of my voice? They're like, dude, you're awesome on guitar. I'm like, that's not what I asked. How's my voice? Bro, you rule on guitar. How's my voice? Shut up, play guitar. And I'll tell you what I did learn about something. This is actually a medical thing. When I was a little guy, I got tonsillitis. Now my dad had a really good voice, really good. His ancestry is Italian, and my mom's side is German. And my dad's, my grandfather, his father, which I never met, was a concertina player. And my mom's side of the family had artists and musicians as well. So both sides were artistically inclined, and my dad had a really good voice. Well, when I was a little guy, I was 8 years old, I got tonsillitis. And at that time, they don't do this anymore. I went in the hospital and got them taken out. And when I was in the and my whole life, I mean, I'm a really good songwriter, and I hear these melodies in my head, but I would overshoot the vocal. Like if I was gonna hit an E, I would sometimes be sharp, sometimes be flat. No matter what I did, I really couldn't control my voice as well. And when I was in the university, my teacher, Dr. Combs, he was like head of the lyric opera. And I'm auditioning, you know, to be in the chorus to find out if I'm a tenor or a baritone. And I'm like, oh, ace of spades. I mean, I look like Lemmy from Motorhead. Oh, and I'm singing like this, and he goes, did you ever take a vocal lesson in your life? No. He goes, what are you doing? why are you singing like this? I go, well, I'm a rock singer. And he goes, move your head down. And he goes like, ee. And he gave me this exercise. And he listened to me. He goes, you have actually a pretty pleasing timbre to your voice. And then he goes, and then he heard me sing again. And he goes, wait a second. He goes, you overshoot and undershoot notes. He goes, you hear the notes in your head, but you can't always sing them in pitch. I go, I've had that problem my whole life. He goes, let me look in your mouth. I go, I'm like in a doctor's appointment. He goes, you've had your tonsils taken out. I said, yes. And he goes, I don't know why this is. He said, but when you get your tonsils taken out, it affects your voice. And he said that he's seen this a million times where people that have, like my age, that have had their tonsils taken out have had pitch issues. It changed my voice. And so the moral of the story is I should be a lead singer, but it kind of messed me up. But my dad said, I never lost any sleep over. He goes, son, you can't have all the talent. I'm like, but Dad, I got to deal with singers. He goes, don't worry about it. So, and I love singers. I mean, I make a joke about it, but playing with Pink wasn't too bad. And I mean, she's pretty amazing. So anyway, but the reason I'm saying all this is in my song Rainforest, you're not going to be hearing me going, rainforest, rainforest, it's raining in the forest. No! First of all, I'm too metal. But second of all, I don't want to sing. I'm going to let my guitar do the talking. I think the only thing I could probably sing now is death metal. And I'm going to just tell you guys one little crazy thing, and then I'm going to play. I have toured in every scenario you can imagine. I have 1.2 million miles with United, so for the rest of my life, I get 3 bags of 70 pounds, and I always board in Group 1. Okay, so my mom said, pick an airline! Well, I'm from Chicago, United's hub. But it's pretty crazy, some of the things that you encounter on tour. And for example, just doing the double guitar for the first time, I backed up Aerosmith. I was on tour, and watching them watch me play the guitar was just absolutely mind-blowing. And I remember even just trying to be in like a major label scenario. When I got signed to Warner Brothers Records, our demos were done at the Record Plant, this really super famous studio. I mean,